Story of the Philippine Flag, Bandila, by Mercy Melchor. Pictures by Ori Asuncion Yambao. By Tahanan Publishing. The flag of the Philippines shall be red, white, and blue with the sun and 3 stars, as consecrated and honored by the people. This is from the Constitution of the Philippines, Article 16, Section 1. The story of our flag began in an obscure house in Tondo, Manila, on July 5, 1892. Here, at 314 Ascaraga Street, now Claro M. Recto, a self-educated clerk named Andres Bonifacio, together with his friends Ladislao Diwa and Chodoro Plata, founded a secret society. They called it ang Kataas-taasan Kagalang-galangang Katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, or the highest and most venerable society of the children of the country. It was known simply as the Katipunan. Its goal was to free the Philippines from more than 3 centuries of Spanish colonial rule. This is vowed to do at any cost, even through armed revolution. Members of the Katipunan, known as Katipuneros, wanted a flag of their own to symbolize their hopes and aspirations. Their flag was made up of a blood-red rectangular field with the letters KKK at the center. The 3 K stood for the first letter of the society's name. Bonifacio's wife, Gregoria de Jesus, and another Katipunera named Benita Rodriguez sewed the first Katipunan flag. The Katipuneros continued to make different versions of the flag. One version had the 3 Ks arranged in triangle. Another flag carried a single K at the center. However, most flags had the blood-red background that symbolized the Katipunan's desire for freedom. The Katipuneros were ready to fight and die for Philippine independence. Important military leaders of the Katipunan had their own flags. Bonifacio's flag had a sun with 16 rays shining over 3 white Ks against a red background. His flag has hands sewn by Katipuneras. On August 19, 1896, the Katipunan was discovered by the Spanish colonial authorities. The Katipuneros sprang into action. On August 23, 1896, Bonifacio's banner was unfurled during the cry of Pugadlawin in Caloocan. On this day, Filipinos openly defied Spanish rule by tearing up their cedulas, or resident certificates. A week later, Bonifacio's flag flew over the Battle of San Juan del Monte, now San Juan, Manila. This was the first battle of the Philippine Revolution. General Emilio Aguinaldo was one of the Katipunan's finest generals. His flag bore the letter K, taken from the pre-Hispanic Philippine alphabet. The K was positioned at the center of a sun with 8 rays. The 8 rays represented the 8 provinces that first rose in revolt against Spain. These were Manila, Bulacan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, Laguna, Batangas, and Cavite. On March 17, 1897, leaders of the Katipunan decided to use Aguinaldo's banner, with a few minor changes, as the official flag of the revolutionary government. The new flag had a white sun with 8 rays on a red background. Less than 2 months later, Andres Bonifacio was executed in the mountains of Maragondon, Cavite. Emilio Aguinaldo became the new leader of the revolutionary government. On the battlefield, other Katipunero leaders used flags of their own. General Mariano Llanera and his men engaged the enemy in the provinces of Bulacan, Tarlac, Pampanga, and Nueva Ecija. General Llanera's flag was called Bungo ni Llanera, or Llanera's skull. His flag was black, with the letter K shown next to a skull and crossbones. A young soldier named Pio del Pilar rose through the ranks of the Katipunan to become one of Aguinaldo's most trusted generals. Del Pilar's flag had a red rectangular background with a white triangle on the left side. Each of the three corners of the triangle bore the letter K. In the middle of the triangle was a mountain, behind which rose a sun with 8 rays, often called Bandila ng Matagumpay, or flag of the victorious. Del Pilar's flag was used in many battles. One of the youngest generals in Aguinaldo's army was Gregorio del Pilar. They called him the Boy General. General del Pilar too had a flag. He patterned it after the flag of Cuba, a Spanish colony that also revolted against Spain. His was the first among the Katipunero flags to use the tricolors red, blue, and black. General del Pilar bravely defended Aguinaldo's retreating army in the Battle of Tirat Pass in Ilocos Sur. His flag was flown in that battle. On December 2, 1899, del Pilar died defending the pass. He was 24 years old. Emilio Aguinaldo was elected president of the First Philippine Republic at the Malolos Congress on January 23, 1899. Meanwhile, Spain was defeated in the Spanish-American War. Under the terms of the Treaty of Paris, the Philippines became the first and only colony of the United States. The revolution continued. This time, Filipino rebels fought against the Americans. On March 23, 1901, the Americans captured Aguinaldo and his fugitive army in Palanan, Isabela. The Philippine Revolution was over. The flag we use today was designed by General Aguinaldo in 1897 during his exile in Hong Kong. His exile was a condition of the Pact of Biak na Bato, a ceasefire agreement between the Katipunan and the Spanish government. In May 1898, Marcela Agoncillo sued the flag with the help of her daughter, Lorenza, and Jose Rizal's niece, Delfina Natividad. Marcela gave Aguinaldo the flag before they boarded the ship Makulok, bound for Manila. On May 28, Aguinaldo's army defeated the Spaniards at the Battle of Alapan. His flag first saw action on this day, which we celebrate as National Flag Day. On June 12, 1898, the flag flew proudly in Kawit, Cavite during the declaration of Philippine independence. Our flag today is a combination of the Katipunan flags that came before it. Blue stands for peace, truth, and justice. Red for patriotism and valor, and white for purity and equality. The 3 stars symbolize the island groups of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The 8 rays of the sun stand for the provinces that first revolted against Spain. The Philippine flag honors the countless men and women who sacrificed their lives for their country. So the next time you pledge allegiance to the flag, remember that it is more than just a piece of cloth. It represents the hopes and dreams of a free and sovereign people. It took 3 women less than a week to sew. It was given to a man leaving Hong Kong aboard the ship Makulok, bound for Manila. Several weeks later, that man, Emilio Aguinaldo, became the first president of the Philippine Republic, and the piece of cloth he carried home was unfurled unfurled on June 12, 1898, before a jubilant crowd in Kawit, Cavite. Bandila.